and your life.
Hello, and a really, really warm welcome to the London Buddhist Center. My name is Dana Yutta, and I'm here with Ruth in the breathing space shrine of the London Buddhist Center in Bethnal Green. If you're here with me, do say hello and say where you're practicing from in the chat box. Here in Bethnal Green is a really, really rainy Wednesday morning. It's just been like raining since the moment I woke up. But also, it's kind of quite cozy down here in the basement of the London Buddhist Center. We've got a very, very warm room today, so I'm really looking forward to practicing. Yeah, so a really warm welcome to all of you if you just joined us. Do say hello. How many people do we have practicing with us?
4 so far.
Okay, yeah, so welcome to all of you. Yeah, welcome to all of you. Yeah, so here at the London Buddhist Center, we've been continuing to run our YouTube yoga classes and our meditation classes, but also we've been doing classes in person. So if you are practicing in London, it would be really, really nice to see you at one of our live classes in the not too distant future. We'll also be adding some live lunchtime yoga classes. These yoga classes, we try to keep them fairly affordable so as many people can come and practice with us as possible. So yeah, if you are in London, have a little look at our website and you can book onto our in-person yoga classes. Okay, so it's 12 o'clock now, and we're going to start off with a little bit of meditation and then we'll do some yoga. And the theme for today is being limitless like the sky. And I really liked thinking about the sky, particularly the clear blue sky, on a day like today when it's quite gray, it's quite rainy, because it's kind of like a metaphor for the mind, really. You know, sometimes our minds can be completely concentrated and radiant and clear. And sometimes they're a bit distracted, a little bit like having clouds covering the blue sky. But if you rise above rain clouds, what you will see is blue sky. So if you've ever taken a plane, had a plane ride where you're above the cloud line, you'll realize that above the cloud, the sky is still clear and radiant and bright. So that's the sort of metaphor for the mind. Regardless of how distracted, how cloudy or messy that you can feel sometimes, you can trust that beneath all of that, all the sort of chop and churn of the surface, there is a very, very clear, radiant mind underneath. In Buddhism, we talk about the radiant mind covered over by adventitious defilements. So you can just trust that there's a luminous mind underneath. So get yourselves into meditation position. You might want to sit cross-legged. You might want to kneel astride some cushions. We'll just be sitting for 3 or 4 minutes, nothing too long. So get yourselves into a position where you can sit still, sit upright. See if you can align your spine and align your shoulders so that your chest is open and your shoulders are down and back. You might want to take some longer, deeper, slower breaths. Really breathing in, filling your lungs. Really breathing out, dropping your shoulders away from your ears. Breathing in nice and long. Breathing out slow and steady. Breathing in with all of your experience, all of your senses. Breathing out, just being in touch with a sense of limitless space and clear blue sky. Just a few more moments sitting still, breathing. And then when you're ready, let's start to move. So you can open your eyes, interlace your fingers, press your palms outwards, tuck your head in. Nice big breaths. Breathing in space between your shoulder blades, breathing out and relaxing. Inhale and exhale. So one more breath just like this. And then on your next in-breath, you can reach your arms up, sit up tall, and breathe out. Take a little stretch to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, little stretch to the left. And inhale, come back to center. Come into a twist just for 2 or 3 breaths. Sitting up nice and tall, inhaling, exhaling, breathing in, breathing out. Twisting the other way. Sitting up tall, using the breath. Inhale and exhale. Very good. Let's take a deeper sideways bend. So walk your right hand out to the right. Left arm comes up and over to join it. Stretching out the left side of the body, looking up towards the ceiling underneath your arm if you can. One more breath. And on your next inhale, coming all the way up and changing sides. So reaching over, stretching out the right side of the body, finding space, using the breath to find space. Okay, coming all the way up. Come onto your hands and knees, so you might need to move any meditation cushions or blocks that you're using. Let's do some cat-cow. So exhaling, tucking your head in, curling the spine. Inhaling, arching the back, dropping the belly, lifting the chin. So breathing out, breathing in. Nice and smooth. Exhale and inhale. So see if you can really feel the whole length of the spine. From the base of your skull all the way down to your tailbone. Such a nice, long, broad area. Moving into any tight bits. Last one. And then coming into downward dog. So tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. Tuck your head and look towards your own belly button. Just take a few breaths here. So breathing space along the spine, along the sides of the spine. Okay, come down onto your knees from downward dog, walk your hands forwards. Let's take another kind of shoulder stretch. So keep your hips high over the knees, drop your elbows and drop your armpits down towards the ground. You might find it easier to have your forehead on the ground, or if you're quite open in the shoulders, you can pop your chin on the ground. Take a couple of deeper in-breaths here, stretching out the shoulders, stretching out the chest. And then let's come back to downward dog. So hands underneath your shoulders again, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. So tucking your head and looking towards your own belly button. Okay, so let's step forwards into warrior one. See if you can bring your right foot forwards, lift both arms, come into warrior one. So lifting the chest, looking up towards the ceiling if you can. Make sure that you do bend the right knee. And as you reach your arms up, drop the shoulders down and back. Now animate your fingertips and have a sense that you're reaching upwards, skywards. Include your fingertips in your awareness. And then on your next in-breath, you can come into warrior two. So we're just going to do a little flowing sequence of standing postures, not spending too long in any of the individual postures. But as you come through these standing postures, see if you can have a sense of space, the spaciousness in the whole body. So in warrior two, a sense of space without strain. Lengthening the arms, again, feeling into the tips of the fingers, use the breath. And then let's come into Parsvakonasana. So bend your right knee even more. Left arm comes up and over. Reaching your left arm away from your left foot. Okay, and then come all the way up. If you've got quite a wide stance, you might need to shorten your stance so that we can come into Trikonasana. So it's the same sideways bend, but this time with straight legs. So keeping the right leg long and straight, left leg also long and straight. Right hand onto your right shin, left arm reaches the ceiling. Big and broad and open through the chest. Left fingertips reaching up towards the sky. Let's just take another breath here. And let's come all the way up. Good. Swivel around to face your right foot. See if you can take a little forward bend. You might want to put your hands into reverse prayer for this, so Parsvakonasana. Coming over the right foot, and if you lie center of your chest along the right leg. So you're really facing the right leg as much as possible. And then you can come all the way up. We're now going to do Trikonasana with a twist. So for this, I'll be turning away from the camera. So you might just want to watch for a moment. You can place your left hand onto your right shin or onto the floor next to your right foot. But before you do that, do make sure that you're really swiveled around so that your hips are as much as possible starting to turn towards your right foot. So your left hip is coming forwards as you reach into the forward bend. Now, lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. Lift your right shoulder up towards the ceiling. So, revolve Trikonasana with a twist. You may need to look towards the ground to find your balance if you're feeling a little bit wobbly. But do make sure that your right arm is you have a sense of your right arm reaching up towards the sky. So the same thing of being big and open across the shoulders and long through the arms. Okay, you come all the way up. Good. So let's just swivel around. We're going to do the same sequence of postures in reverse, in the same sequence. So start off with warrior one. This time with your left foot forwards. Again, you can lift the chest and look up between your hands. Make sure that the shoulders are relaxed down and back. And animate your fingertips. The fingertips are reaching up towards the sky. And then let's come into warrior two. So looking along your left arm, having a sense of space without strain, and internal spaciousness in the body, in the mind, in the heart. And then let's come into Parsvakonasana. So bend your left knee quite a lot. Right arm comes up and over. So making a long line with the right side of the body, plenty of space. Right fingertips reaching away from the right foot. And then on your next inhale, come all the way up. See if you can bring your feet a little bit closer together. Bringing your left hand onto the left shin, coming into Trikonasana, keeping both legs long and straight. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. So being broad and open in the chest, long in the arms. Right hand reaching up towards the sky. And then coming all the way up. Swivel around so that you're really facing your left foot. Taking your hands into reverse prayer. And coming into Parsvottanasana, forward bending over the left leg. So aligning the center of your chest over the left leg, folding forwards. Just another breath here, remembering to breathe. And then on your next inhale, coming all the way up. Start to twist your hips towards the left foot. Bring your right hand onto the shin or onto the floor next to your foot. Make sure that you lift the left shoulder as you lift your arm. You may or may not be able to look towards the ceiling or look towards the sky. If you're finding it hard to balance, then you can just look towards the ground. But still cultivate a sense of being big and open across the shoulders. All right, let's come all the way up. Good stuff. So turning around to face me now. Let's do some forward bends. So straight leg forward bends, feet nice and wide. Bring your hands down towards the floor. Walk your hands a little bit back so that they're more or less in line with your feet. If they don't quite touch the ground, you might want to take your feet a little bit further apart and just have a little look at your feet for the moment. See if you can make sure that your feet are nice and parallel. And then start to bend your elbows and draw the crown of your head down towards the ground. We'll take another breath here. And then hands on the waist, just come all the way up. Good stuff. Bend your knees. Give your hamstrings a little rest. And then we'll just do the same posture with a different kind of hand hold. So Prasarita Padottanasana is the name of the posture. Interlace your fingers behind your back. And as you breathe out, coming forwards, dropping your hands down towards the floor. Okay, so let's just take one more breath in this posture. And breathe in, come all the way up. Give your knees a little bend, relax your hamstrings. Let's do a forward fold with a twist. So this time, bringing your left hand down to the ground a little bit in front of your feet. Reach your right shoulder up and reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. When you come into this posture, it's quite important that you give your spine space to twist. So you don't want to have your left hand too close to your feet. You want to make sure that there's really space for your spine to unfurl. Remember to breathe into the twist. And then on your next exhale, bring your hand down, reach your left arm up. Again, really feeling into your spine. Make sure you're creating a long twist, not a hunched over twist. Your head's reaching away for your hips. Remember to breathe. And then you can bring your left hand down, hands on the waist. Breathe in, come all the way up. Good stuff. Bring your feet together now. So bend both knees, come into Utkatasana. So after those little slightly destabilizing twists, just really coming into a posture that's grounded, that's steady, that's stable. Bend both knees, reach both arms up. Utkatasana. Breathing. Okay. Inhale, straight legs, hands down. Let's do a little variation on Utkatasana, so just a balance. See if you can just lift your right foot up so that the ankle's just above the knee. Bend the standing leg. So try not to pitch your shoulders forwards too much. So you want to be fairly upright in the chest. And then if you can find your balance, reach your arms up. And then if you can really find your balance, lift your chest, look up between your hands. We'll just take another breath here. So do remember to breathe. And then you can bring your hands down and bring your right foot down. Well done, other side. So left ankle just above the right knee. Bend both knees, finding your balance. And if you can find your balance, you can reach your arms up. And then if you're really steady, you can lift your chin, look up between your hands. Shoulders still resting down and back. Remembering to breathe. One more breath. Okay, really well done. Straight legs, hands down. Good. Let's do a slow sun salutation. So come to the top of your mat. Breathe in, lift both arms up. Breathe out and fold forwards. Inhale, lift your head, lift the chest. Let's take a few breaths here, just stretching out the spine, stretching out the legs as much as you can. And then as you exhale, step both legs back. Lower yourselves, bend your elbows. Inhale, coming all the way up into upward dog. Again, just taking a few breaths here. And exhale, let's come into downward dog. So spending a few moments of downward dog, stretching out the backs of your legs, stretching out your shoulders again. So let's do a couple of different postures today. We're going to come into Ekapada Kapotasana. So you can lift your right leg up if you want to, and then step your right foot towards your left hand, and your right knee towards your right hand. You might need to scooch your left leg back, and keep your hands on the ground for now. So some of us will find this posture quite easy, and some of us will find actually our hips are really, really tight in this posture. One of the ways to sort of give yourselves a little adjustment is to look at the angle of your shin bone. So if you're making quite an acute angle with your shin bone, so that your right foot's quite far away from your left hand, while your knee stays close to your right hand. So if you tuck your right foot in more, basically, that's easier. And the more parallel your shin bone is to the front of your mat, the harder and stronger the posture is. So the more you tuck your foot in underneath your pelvis, the easier the posture is. So you can just give yourself an adjustment, work out what's a good stretch for you. No need to push yourselves very hard today. And then when you're ready, you can just tuck your left toes under, press into your left foot, lift the hips, step back to downward dog. Good, so other side. Bring your left foot towards your right hand and your left knee towards your left hand. Slide your right foot back. And again, have a little look at your shin and where you've placed your left foot. And just give yourself a little adjustment. So you might want to tuck your left foot a little bit closer to your pelvis, make the posture a little bit easier. No need to torture yourself on this side either. Keep your hands on the ground so that your body weight isn't just going through your hips. By the way, with this posture, you really must do it when you're warm. So sometimes I watch yogis do it as a little bit of like a warm-up posture. That's not very good for your hamstring attachments. So do make sure that when you do practice this posture, you want to have done quite a lot of other postures before you get into this one. So coming out of it, tuck your right toes under, press into the right foot, lift your hips up and back into downward dog. Okay, really well done. Now walk your feet towards your hands, cross your legs, and step down. So let's come into a very, very simple forward bend. So both arms, both legs out in front of you. Maybe they can be a little bit bent this time. Your knees can be bent, and let your feet flop apart. So a soft forward bend. Knees bent, feet flopping apart. Walk your hands along the floor. Drop your head and shoulders. Okay, come all the way up. So, I'm just going to turn around to show you. What we're going to do is we're going to cross the right foot, right leg over the left knee so that your knees are stacking one on top of the other. Then we're going to come into a forward bend. So this is a variation on the basic Janushirshasana posture. One of the reasons why it's quite good to do this particular variation is that it keeps your extended leg really, really straight. So you've got one knee over the other, and the bottom leg is just sort of encouraged to be straight as you come forwards. Okay, and then let's go the other way. So stacking your left knee over your right, and then again coming into a forward bend. Relaxing your shoulders, remember to breathe. Okay, and then coming all the way up. Good. So with your left knee on top, see if you can just bring the foot onto the ground. And then with your right leg, see if you can bend the knee and tuck it as close to your hip as possible. That's it, really good. So your left foot is flat on the floor, right foot, the sole of your foot is lifted up. We're going to take a twist to the left this time. So see if you can bring your right shoulder across your left knee, the back of the shoulder stays in contact with the knee as much as possible. And just twisting round to the left. So this posture is called Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Matsyendrasana. One of the things about Ardha Matsyendrasana is that you really don't want to lean backwards. So just make sure that you're stacking your shoulders over your hips. With your left fingertips, you're really propping yourselves nice and tall and using the muscles of your core to help you sit up straight. We'll just take another breath here and then let's go the other way. So untangling your legs. So this time, your left foot's under, right foot steps across. And then you're bringing your left shoulder across the back of the shoulder in contact with the knee. Use your right fingertips to prop yourselves nice and straight. So try your best not to lean backwards. Sit up tall. Looking around towards the back of the room. Slow breathing. Okay. Inhale. And look forwards and release. Good. So keeping your legs where they are, see if you can just lie back, roll back. So your right knee's crossed over the left. See if you can draw both knees into the chest, and then walk your hands down towards your feet. Just very gently draw the feet a little bit away from each other. Taking a stretch. And then let's cross the legs the other way. Just making sure that you're crossing at the thighs. Hug both knees towards the chest. Walk your hands down towards your feet. Take your feet out to the side. Okay, really good. So, hugging your right knee into the chest, letting the left leg stretch out in front of you. Spend a little bit of time just wobbling your right knee from side to side, loosening out the right hip. Okay, hold on to the back of the right thigh, stretch your right foot up towards the ceiling, and see if you can make circles with your toes. So, just rotating at the ankle. And then bend your right knee. Hold on to the right knee with the left arm. Right hand goes out to the side. Draw yourselves into a little lying down twist. Looking across your right shoulder if you can. Okay. Let's go the other way now. Hug your left knee to the chest. Give it a little squeeze. Wobble the knee from side to side, just loosening out the head. And then hold on to the back of your left leg. Stretch your left foot up towards the ceiling. And then rotate the ankle. Okay. Hug the knee into the chest again. Hold on to the knee with your right hand. Left arm out to the side. Draw yourselves into a lying down twist. And then coming back to center. Good, both feet flat on the floor. Start to wind down the practice here. Just make sure that your feet are parallel and slightly wider than hip width apart. Let's come into preparation for Badanrasana. So breathe in, lift your hips. Breathe out, bring your hips down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to come down. We'll just do two more. Breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, come all the way down. Breathing in, lifting up. And breathing out, coming all the way down. Good. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Now let's do a little shavasana. Hold all those corpse pose. About 5 minutes or so. So see if you can reach your legs out in front of you. Let your feet flop apart. Hands down by your sides. Palms facing the ceiling. Now that you've been lying still for a few moments, perhaps see if you can move your shoulders away from your ears. Close your eyes if you haven't already. It's encouraging your face to relax. Letting go of any holding on in the face. Letting your tongue and your jaw go soft. And really encouraging the back of the head to be heavy. Feeling down the sides of your neck. See if you can encourage your shoulders to relax down the back. Right shoulder relaxing down and relaxing back. Left shoulder relaxing down, relaxing back. Encouraging your arms to be heavy, your hands to be still. Telling the belly to go soft and floppy. Feeling down your legs heavy, muscles soft. Relaxing any tension in the feet. Okay. So starting to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Maybe you might want to open your eyes, maybe closed at the beginning. Perhaps roll over to your side. Once you're on your side, just stay there for a few moments, getting used to this new shape. Now sitting all the way up. So let's just sit quietly together for a few moments. So you might want to get some blocks or cushions. See if you can sit up tall. And just do a little waking up exercise to finish. So the movement is one where you cross your arms in front of you, reach your arms up, and take your arms out to the side. So it's a little bit like taking a jumper off. So you cross your arms, reach the elbows up, and then the hands, and then out to the side. Twice more, just crossing, lifting up, out to the side. And last one, breathe in, and breathe out. Good, hands down onto your knees. Sit up tall. So noticing how you are now, what your internal weather is like. Are you a cloudy, stormy sky? Are you a summer sky? Clear and blue. Is it a dawn sky or a sunset sky? Or a night sky full of stars? So you can open your eyes if you haven't already. That's the end of the class today. So very, very nice to have all of you, and I hope you enjoyed practicing. I really enjoyed practicing. And yeah, just to say that the Buddhist Center is a resource that many, many of you really appreciate, and we're really happy to be able to continue to put out content that is hopefully helpful content and nourishing. And here at the Buddhist Center, a lot of us try to give as much as we can to the Buddhist Center. So just want to really encourage you to participate in that generosity. And you can help us in lots of ways. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can share our videos on your social media feeds. You can tell your friends about it. And you can also give us some money. So what I would really encourage you to do is if you have been watching London Buddhist Center videos for some time and you'd like to support us, take out a regular donation. Ruth is just putting a link to our Just Giving site in the chat. And it's a really, really important way to put money into what you care about and what you believe in, and a way to participate in our community. So really glad to practice with you, and hope to practice with you in person one day soon. And see you next week. Bye.